Now we'll be doing refraction of light, and after this you will be able to define refraction. We'll be having a knowledge of laws of refraction and refractive index. So when we are talking about light, first of all, what is light? Well, light is a form of energy that enables us to see around us, or we can say that it is an electromagnetic wave that can travel through vacuum also. Now children, to see things, there should be a source of light, and light should fall on the object. Now, how light gets affected when it falls on any surface? What I mean is that if light is falling from a source on any object, then how does it get affected, or what happens to it? When light falls on any surface, then any of these processes may take place. Firstly, it might be absorption. That means light falls on the surface and it is absorbed. Secondly, it might be transmission. A part of light may pass through the object and get out from the other side. Like in the glass, the light falls on it and it passes through. Thirdly, reflection. That means a part of light may bounce off the surface. This striking of light and bouncing back of light is called reflection. Reflection is the process which enables us to see the objects around us. Now we'll study about another application of light, that is refraction. To understand it, let's look at how light passes through air, water, glass. That means light is passing from one medium to another. Now children, whenever light moves in one medium, it follows a straight line path, which is known as rectilinear propagation of light. But when it travels from one substance to another substance, its path doesn't remain a straight line. Now we have three mediums over here: air, water, glass. So let's see what is happening when light passes from air to water to glass. You will observe that it is deviated from the straight line path. You can see a light which is incident on air. Now this is the path taken by light when it passes through the water, and finally when it passes through the glass, this is the path taken. You can very clearly observe that it has deviated from its straight line path each time it has changed the medium in which it is entering. So when light is traveling from one medium to another, it is bending. These substances, that is air, water and glass, are regarded as medium, or we can say medium refers to any substance or material through which light can pass. There are two types of medium. One, we say optically rarer medium. What is this? It is the medium which has less density and speed of light is more. Another is optically denser medium. It is the medium which has more density and speed of light is lesser in it. Remember, these are relative terms. Now, the bending of light is called refraction. How do we define refraction? Refraction is the phenomenon of change in the direction of light when it falls obliquely at the interface of two transparent media. Now, what does obliquely mean? Now, what does obliquely mean? Children, obliquely means that incident ray is neither parallel to the surface on which it is falling or perpendicular to the surface on which it is falling. At the boundary between two transparent media, remember, light is partially reflected and partially refracted. What does this mean? Partial refraction and reflection occurs when a wave is traveling between two mediums. Some of the wave is reflected back and the rest is refracted through into other medium. So in this diagram you can observe that incident ray is, you can observe the incident ray, isn't it? And when it is falling on the surface, then part of the light is reflected. You can observe the direction it is reflected and part of light is refracted. So whenever light falls on any medium, then remember, part of the light will enter the medium and the part of the light is going to bounce off the medium. So when it bounces off, you will have the phenomena of reflection, and when it enters into the other medium, the phenomenon will be of refraction. Now let's study about the terms which are associated with the phenomena of refraction. So over here you can see a diagram in which the light is passing from air to water. Now you can observe the word incident ray written, refracted ray and the word normal written. You are familiar with these words. Now incident ray, what will you say? The ray which falls on the boundary of the separation to enter the other medium. So the blue line is showing you the incident ray. It is falling in the first medium, that is the air. It can be any medium. Here in the diagram it is air. Then refracted ray, the ray in the second medium after deviation. Then normal. Before that, you can observe in the diagram over here, this is what you call as point of incidence. On this point of incidence, a normal is drawn. And what is a normal? Normal is a perpendicular passing through the point at the boundary of separation. That means whenever you draw a perpendicular at the point of incidence, that is known as normal. Then you can observe there is an angle formed between the incident ray and the normal. This is known as angle of incidence. So angle of incidence I is the angle between the normal and the incident ray. Then we have angle between the normal and the refracted ray. This is known as the angle of refraction. The angle between the normal and the refracted ray is known as angle of refraction. So these are the terms that are associated when light is falling on one medium and has to pass through the other medium. Now, what is the cause of refraction? That means, why does this bending take place? You know that light travels in different speed in different mediums. For example, light travels faster in air than in glass. Therefore, it is due to the change of speed of light in different medium that the light rays are refracted. Now, what are the rules for refraction of light? Case 1, that is the first rule. When light rays travel obliquely from rarer medium to denser medium, then they bend towards normal. In this case, angle of refraction is smaller than angle of incidence. When light rays travel from air into water or from air into water, it bends towards normal. This is because the speed of light rays decrease while traveling from air into glass or water. Now over here you can observe that this is the incident ray in this medium air, and when we compare it with the glass, then air is the rarer medium and glass obviously is the denser medium. You can see that incident ray, this is the normal, and when light has entered from air to glass, it has bent towards the normal. This would have been the path of the light had it not traveled through glass. It would have gone straight, but it has bent towards the normal. So whenever light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, then they bend towards the normal. Over here, you can very nicely observe that angle I is less than angle R. That means that angle of refraction is smaller than angle of incidence. So, when light travels from rarer medium to denser medium, it bends towards the normal and the angle of refraction is lesser than angle of incidence, and this is the angle through which the light has deviated. Now case 2, when light rays travel from optically denser medium to rarer medium, then they bend away from the normal. In this case, the angle of refraction is greater than the angle of incidence. Now, when light travels from glass into air or from water into air, they bend away from the normal. The speed of light rays increase while traveling from glass or water into air. Now you can see in this diagram the path of incident ray is in the glass. Glass is the denser medium as compared to air. Air is the rarer medium. So the incident ray is moving from glass to air, and this is the angle of incidence, and you will find that it has moved away from the normal. Had this change of medium not been there, then the path of the light taken would have been this. So you can observe that it has moved away from the normal. So in this case, angle I happens to be less than angle R. So here we have angle of refraction is greater than the angle of incidence, and this is the path taken by the light in the denser medium bending away from the normal. Now children, how much does the light bend? We already know that when light travels from rarer medium to denser or from denser to rarer, it bends towards normal or away from normal. But how much amount the light should bend, or what should be the change in the angle of refraction when it is passing from rarer to denser or denser to rarer, this will be decided by laws of refraction. So now we will be seeing what are the laws of refraction. There are two laws of refraction. First, incident ray, refracted ray and normal. At the point of incidence, all lie in the same place, that is the surface. Now over here, this is a very familiar diagram with you. There has been an incident ray shown. It is moving from air to glass and therefore is bending towards normal. So, according to the first law, this incident ray, the normal and the refracted ray will lie in the same plane. The second law says the ratio of sine of angle of incidence to the sine of angle of refraction is constant for a given pair of media. Now, this is the angle of incidence, right? And this is the angle of refraction. So, the ratio, that means the division of the two, and that too of sine. This is a term, trigonometric term. So, sine I to sine R is constant for what? A given pair of media. In this case, the pair of media is air and glass. So, when we write down mathematically, it will be sine of angle of incidence upon sine of angle of refraction is equal to constant. Or you write it in this way, sine I upon sine R is equal to constant, which is commonly written as sin upon is equal to constant. This constant is called refractive index of the second medium with respect to first medium. That means in this case, when I say sine I upon sine R, this constant will be equal to mu. That means the refractive index of which medium? It will be refractive index of glass with respect to air.